Hey guys, it's Steven, managing partner with Foxtrot Family Law. We're here again to answer some questions on Avvo. Now, I've already spoken with you guys about Avvo. It's Facebook for lawyers. I'm sure they probably don't want me saying that, but if that's a way to understand what Avvo is, real live licensed attorneys each have a profile page, and you can go ask questions, read legal guides, separate information by the field of law that you're involved in, contracts, business formation, estate planning, criminal law, and what we focus all of our energy and resources, research on at Foxtrot Family Law, and that's helping committed parents and caring relatives be effective in child custody cases. We post this and other videos on our YouTube channel, so please like, comment, or subscribe. And in the meantime, let's take a look at a DHR specific question on Avvo. Now, as always, we have a disclaimer, we are lawyers. So any response to a question or inquiry on Avvo is not legal advice. There's simply no way to provide specific, effective, qualified, competent legal advice based on one question on one website. That's not what Avvo is for, and that's not what we're here to do participating in this. Avvo is an opportunity to get the basics, to understand what you and your family need to focus on, and maybe ask questions about and follow up on if and when you do meet with a competent child custody attorney, whether that's an in-person consultation at his or her law firm or at a teleconference over the phone, either of which you can book with us at thinkfoxtrot.com if you're in the area and if your situation is in Alabama, where we are licensed to practice law. Okay, introduction over. Thank you for your patience as I get through that. So let's take a look at a DHR specific question. How does a safety plan for DHR work? Okay, yeah, if you are familiar with Foxtrot Family Law at all, you know we deal with DHR a lot. So I'm looking forward to looking over this. All right, how does a safety plan for DHR work? I am dealing with DHR. It's been 3 months now. A week ago, a new caseworker was assigned to my case, and then kids were removed from their safety plan home into DHR custody. Okay, gosh, wow. First of all, if the person that asked this question is watching this video, I'm so sorry that this has happened. Believe me, you're not alone, and you don't have to deal with this alone. There are lots of folks like our team at Foxtrot Family Law that represent parents on the other side of the DHR cases. So please contact someone, regardless of the information in this video, please contact someone either in your area or close there to get in and discuss this in more detail. Nothing's going to change if you just post a question on a website, get some actionable information, and then don't take action. So please get with someone in your area. But let's dig in a little bit to that. Let's understand what a safety plan is. A safety plan is an informal custody, physical custody agreement with DHR. It does not have the force of law. It is not a court order. And it is, as I'm sure you now know, unfortunately, it is revocable at any time by DHR. But importantly, it is revocable by you, the parent, at any time. Now, does that mean that I can let DHR know, hey, safety plan ain't happening anymore, going to pick up my kid, and that works out perfectly? That's not the case. If you're going to pull a move like that, you don't legally have to have an attorney, but you would be risking the well-being of your family to execute such an aggressive strategy, which we implement all the time, don't get me wrong, but to do so without the guidance and advocacy of a child custody attorney is reckless. But Fundamental principle, DHR safety plans are revocable. Okay, so let's dig in. I'm dealing with DHR. It's been 3 months now. New caseworker. Kids were removed from their safety plan. Okay, so that's a safety plan not working in your situation. If your question is, how does a safety plan work? Not like this. Something has gone wrong, and you need to speak with somebody about what did or didn't happen, right or wrong, true or untrue, that motivated DHR to remove the child. Now, if they have taken your children into foster care, you are entitled to a shelter care hearing within 72 hours. 72 hours. And you're going to get, you will, at least in Alabama, have the right to an appointed counsel if you qualify financially, or the right to retain your own counsel if you have some financial resources. So you are now in the midst of the legal process, and to proceed without attorney is, again, reckless. If you can afford your own private attorney, that's what we recommend doing. If you don't have those kinds of resources, check with some local attorneys regarding payment plans. Last resort, speak with the court about filling out the appropriate form to get an appointed attorney. And you're going to need one during this process. But essentially, in your situation, the safety plan is over. Okay? Once DHR has taken custody of the children, that's them revoking the safety plan. No more safety plan. Now they have what's called a pickup order. That's a real live court order. You're in like the judicial world now. And actually, that's a good thing. As a quick aside, you now have judicial oversight. You are a party to the case. DHR is a party to the case. You guys have the same standing before the court. Now, DHR might have investigative resources, legal counsel, and maybe even some influence on the court. And we deal with that a lot, and that's hard to overcome. So you do need somebody that's used to going against DHR, adverse, and trying cases against DHR, rather than what I call hand-holding you or a parent through compliance with the DHR process. That's not really what we do at Foxtrot Family Law, unless the circumstances, like really dire circumstances, warrant that. But now you're beyond the safety plan. But please understand this, either now or in the future. A safety plan is an informal agreement with DHR, revocable by either party, does not have the force of law. And as I mentioned before, whether or not you terminate a safety plan, they terminate a safety plan, they being DHR, what's going to be important is what did or didn't happen, and what the events or circumstances were in your life, in your household, before the safety plan was ever even agreed to. And I say agreed to, and let me point out there, you agreed to it. You didn't have to. Now, could there have been consequences or effects of not agreeing to a safety plan? Sure, but maybe not. As soon as DHR in the future contacts you about any allegations, contact a lawyer. As soon as anybody reaches out to you about drug testing, consult a child custody lawyer. As soon as anybody puts anything on paper and asking you to sign away in any form or fashion any right you have regarding your children, consult a child custody lawyer. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Yes, you need a lawyer. So hopefully this response has provided some helpful information. To summarize real quick, I already summarized what the safety plan is, but for you in your situation, without this being legal advice, unique and applicable, from what I understand, generally speaking, safety plan's over. So you're in the judicial process now. You need a lawyer, whether retained or appointed. You need to follow the proper juvenile processes and procedure, the proper civil procedure as it applies to DHR child custody cases. And that's where your attention needs to be, as opposed to worrying about not what the safety plan is or isn't, but what it was or wasn't, because that's gone. It's game time for you and your family, and you need to lawyer up. And I wish you and your family all the best. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, or subscribe. Or if you'd like to have a real life consultation with me or any of our child custody lawyers at Foxtrot Family Law, you can visit thinkfoxtrot.com to book your consultation online. We'll also post that link in the description. Thank you for watching. Hope to hear from you. Hope everything works out.